Welcome back to the Story Exchange. Very special episode for you listeners at home today because we actually have two guests in the booth.
Woo!
Hello.
Oh. All right, so a little activity that we do to kind of warm up each guest, get them involved, and really let the audience have a greater understanding of who's on the other end of the microphone is I ask everyone, what's your favourite novel? What's one novel everyone should read and why? It could be a book, and if you don't have a novel, a TV show or a film.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Take the floor is yours.
Far away.
I'm Connor, and one TV show that I'd suggest everyone watch is Ozark on Netflix. It's very good. It's about a family that has to launder money for a drug cartel. And then I'll leave it at that because I don't really.
And Georgia?
My name is Georgia, and I don't read. So my favourite TV show that I would recommend... Actually, it's not my favourite, but I would recommend You. Because it's
Ooh.
really interesting
I've heard
and
that's
murderous. It's so good.
Oh my
That-
God, scandal.
I never watched the second season of that.
The second season gets a bit more crazier, but I don't know... But it is good. Penn Badgley is really sexy, so...
So there
There's
you
a
go.
plus.
If you're looking for a heartthrob, what's his name?
Penn Badgley.
It's
Penn
interesting.
like pen, and Badgley like Badger, and Lee.
Thanks. I'm sure the audience needed you to phonetically spell that out for them. It's interesting because you're the first two guests to promote a TV show instead of a novel. And I think that it's good that we're opening up the visual medium. I would say the interesting thing is that you suggested two very different shows. What particularly about A Good Life Gone Bad do you find interesting, Connor?
I wouldn't say I found it interesting. It was very much like there was a regular family that just got drawn into things. And it's interesting to see how like the kids they have, they're like, they're around I'd say 12 and 16, and they very much get involved in like the storyline and get involved with the cartel as well.
Because I think that's the thing. There's a level of accountability that none of us here at the moment will ever understand of what's it like to be responsible for a child. And when you put them in that environment, I mean, it's just bad parenting. And to really expand on You, what do you think? Do you think there's kind of that base instinct of... I've had this discussion with a few other guests about violence in media, but specifically You, is it the idea that there's some romantic component to that too, and that it almost humanizes the murderous intent?
I guess so. Everyone loves a stalker story, I think.
Really? Interesting.
I love a good stalker
Expand.
story.
Why do you love a good stalker story?
Because it's fun to watch and take tips for some. I don't know, not for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Well, let's try not to indict ourselves on the episode of the podcast
I just think it's such a great show. So interesting and educational.
on how to stalk people.
if you're a
That's
stalker
not...
out there.
We
Yeah,
do not
if you're
advocate
a stalker
stalking.
out there, watch You. It'll be really helpful.
It's in the instruction manual.
And I think to really expand on the Ozarks thing in particular, there's an argument that I love about Breaking Bad, a kind of similar show,
I'm watching
which is
that
that
right
Walter is more of a victim of the state than he is a villain. Not per se because his actions aren't wrong, because they are, I think we can all agree. But if he lived in Canada, for instance, you have a situation where Walter gets paid for the treatment, doesn't
Yeah.
need to turn to drugs, gets paid according to his skill and profession. So that kind of leads to my next question, which would be, what's something that you two want to see more of in the world, and why?
In what sense?
Any sense.
Ladies.
Just something. Could be a who. Yeah, it could be a who.
See more. I'd like to see more countries, like travel more. I think like different places, because I've not been to many countries. But like when you're young, you think everywhere's the same as like your street basically. So when you go abroad, you see how different things really are.
You want to expand that horizon. I think
Yeah.
that's very admirable, and I want to do the same. What about you, Georgia?
I want to see more wild animals
Ooh, that's a
just
zag.
living in their habitat, and I want to ride one.
Do you feel a particular
unexpectedly.
connection with nature?
Yep.
Have
So-
you ever been West Midlands Safari?
No, actually, I haven't. I've been to Argos Zoo. That was pretty
Pretty
exciting.
naturey.
So right,
yeah.
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 So what specifically about animal preservation do you think that we're missing right now? Because it is a very on the pulse topic.
Well, I think that wild animals, the ones that are getting extinct especially, they're just trying to live their lives. And I just think we should let them be and stop tearing down their land like the Amazon and just let them live. Let them run free, run wild, stop killing them, stop hunting them. Unless they're like cows and stuff, because everyone loves a beef burger. All right, guys.
Okay.
No, cows don't count though, because they're like common. I'm talking about like ones in like jungles.
It's
and
interesting that you say that because there is this idea that only like 12.5 of the animals that exist, and there are a fucking shit ton, I think we can all agree, you
Yes.
can actually breed them and tame them and reproduce them, and it's those ones that we've chosen because they're docile, easy to feed, have a lot of children, etc. So like you don't eat tiger burgers because for every tiger you require what, like 10 cows? But you have
Yeah.
cow burgers because for every 10 cows you
There's
need
too many.
one block of grass. Right. So, but we then view those animals as, oh, well, it's a chicken. We mass produce those. So where do you stand on the mass production of livestock?
I've never really thought about it before. I guess I don't really stand anywhere for it. I don't know. I guess mass production is helpful because then there's more to eat in the world and we can feed those who need chicken.
I think it depends really. Like if you're let's say you've got 100 chickens
Mm-hmm.
and they're treated well, like free range. So when they are eventually eaten by people,
Mm.
it's better for you.
Mm.
But you know, if you've got 1,000 chickens,
Cooped up.
yeah, and you're producing more, but it's not as healthy and things like that, then that's a bit, you know.
I see what you mean. So
Quality
you
over
think
quantity.
that perhaps it's more about if we provide these animals with a good quality of life, then it doesn't necessarily take away the mournfulness of killing them per se, so much as it's easier to cope with.
Easier to cope with, and when, you know, it's obvious if the animal that you're killing to eat, if it's living a healthier lifestyle, it's going to be healthier
To eat.
to eat.
Interesting. So that kind of leads me on to moving away from animal rights, because let's not get
Yeah.
drawn into one. Where's a place that you'd like to see, Georgia? And Connor?
I would like to see Australia
Ooh.
because I've never been there before and I just feel like I'd fit in there so well with all the Aussies and everyone kissing on the beach. I don't know, is that what they do in Australia? Surfs up.
Not to marginalise Australia as just surfers and people kissing
Yeah,
on the beach.
and I want to go to the outback, Australian outback.
Yeah, visit
Try and
the
get in a
desert.
kangaroo pouch. That's the goal.
I wonder.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd fit though.
Yeah, they're very small.
Well, they do keep kids in them.
They're kids though.
Yeah.
Not just anyone's kids.
That'd be
They're
funny
not
though.
childminders.
Maybe they should do that. Maybe that should be a new business.
But
There's
What,
a gap
kangaroo
in the market for
au
kangaroo
pairs?
bases. There is.
So what about you, Connor? Less maybe kangaroo themed?
I'd like to see Place of America because
Mm.
America is so like, it's like countries in a country really. So
Yeah, in many ways it's so large almost.
Yeah,
that
so like New York would be so different to Texas,
Mm.
things like that.
100%.
Texas.
I think it's a nice answer.
Yeah.
And then I guess to wrap up this little short segment of the show, I would say, now that we've asked you what do you fear for in the future? Because we've asked for something that you want to see, but what don't you want to see? What keeps Georgia and Connor awake at night?
I wouldn't want to see myself giving birth.
That is really specific.
I wouldn't
I mean,
wanna
I'm
put-
sorry, I'm just going to take a pause there. I thought I was thinking cyberization, AI, late capitalism, confirmation bias, politics. Expand. What?
I wouldn't want anyone to like hold a mirror down there and like watch myself birth.
Is that a
baby.
thing that people do?
Yeah,
They
people
watch
get,
it?
People like record themselves
That is
Yeah, my-
sinister.
and then watch it back.
My auntie, she's not really my auntie, but she's a doctor, and
Wow.
do you know how she had a cesarean?
Yeah.
Do you know how they
C-section,
put the sheet up so you can't see?
Uh-huh.
she
She
delib-
watched.
She
oh
deliberately
my
didn't
god.
ask for
That
Oh
is
my
bloody
God,
minging.
that
I would
is
actually
dark.
die. I'd pass
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I don't want to see
Wow,
myself
that
give
is
birth
that is
Odd.
really really specific,
Odd
Georgia.
creature.
or give birth.
Visceral though.
What do you mean odd creature?
I'm talking about you. I'm
No.
talking about my auntie.
That is an odd creature, actually. That's too far.
Yeah, why would you want to watch
Exactly.
yourself get cut open? Like, I swear most people get knocked out for that shit.
Not cesarean.
Yeah, not cesareans.
You're awake!
People go in awake. They just numb the area.
Wow,
Just-
that is dark. Because, like, I had root canal and I was awake for that, and that was a lot.
I have
you
no
know.
clue what that is.
So it's where you open up
Oh.
a tooth and you...
Ew.
Moving away from my dental records, Georgia. Okay, Connor, what keeps you up at night? Having birth?
Seeing me give birth.
Yeah, that's not something I'd be, you know, it's not on my top of wish lists I want to see.
Mm.
Man United winning the league anytime soon. That'd keeps me up at night.
We're keeping them grounded today with fears. I like that.
Keeping me up at night. Many sleepless nights over that.
Get a grip.
But no, I don't know. Like, I'm not really a fearful person when it comes to things like that. Like, I'm scared of like.
He's like a lion. He's so brave.
You know, I'm more scared of like little things like spiders and things like that. There's nothing massive that I'm scared
There's
of.
no existential terror that just keeps you
Yeah.
rocking at night. And
Yeah.
I think good for you. Nice to live without fear. For you, Georgia, it's the cycle of life.
Yeah.
Would you say that death plays a part in that?
No.
No, just literally the
Just
biological
a big
act.
fat baby coming out of me.
Yeah, okay.
Do
Well,
you-
when you
come
put
on.
it, wow, it took us what, like 10 minutes to get here.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Do you want kids at some point, or
I don't know yet. I don't know.
Do you want
What about that
adoption?
parenting thing doesn't appeal to you? Other
Kids.
than that,
I don't
oth-
really like kids and the noises they make and the way that they act.
Okay, is that a patience thing? You think, oh, I just
Yeah.
can't overlook the fact that these are inexperienced people in the ways of the world.
Yeah, I just watch some kids and I'm just like, shut up. I just don't like them most of the time.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's move away from the children debate. Let's move back to kind of this idea of, do you believe in that circle of life? That idea that I come from, or the expression
The
in
chicken.
a certain religion. What? No, ashes to ashes is kind of the expression, right? I come from nothing, I return to nothing. Where do we stand on that? Because I know that you are a person of faith, Georgia.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you stand on that line?
Reincarnation.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think I've already lived lives and that's why I'm such a legend, really.
Well, let's explore that a little deeper.
what do you think you was in a past life?
Well, I don't know, but I hope in my next life I'm a squirrel. That is my one
You hope to be an animal next
I
time.
hope next time I come to life, I'm a little squirrel going around the oak
Just doing
trees,
squirrely
eating
things.
nuts. Yeah. I don't think I could
Sorry?
do my GCSEs again.
Are you?
That was too much. I just want to be a squirrel and get to school then.
I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe that your body isn't you. So
Mm.
like, I'm not
Oh, interesting. So
Not-
more of a.
not. I don't believe in ghosts per se, but like your spirit is.
So you're
The
kind of a
soul.
believer of the
So
soul.
basically, like your soul leaves your body and you go somewhere else. Kind of.
It's very peaceful. Sounds quite tranquil.
Yeah.
I mean, being a squirrel, I'm sure sounds fun. Just maybe less spiritually like enlightenment and more nuts and rabies, really.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
I'm allergic to nuts, so it'd be nice.
Are you actually?
It'd be nice to finally be
Wow.
able to eat nuts.
Well, we've come full circle. Wonderful.
Back to the babies.
Had a baby and doesn't like peanuts.
Well, squirrel babies are a lot smaller, so that'll probably be easier.
Yeah, but squirrels have a few babies. Though.
Do they lay eggs?
What
Nah,
the fuck?
they don't lay
What
eggs.
the fuck? No,
Nah.
they're mammals, man.
I think-
Oh,
I think that.
I don't
Do
know.
squirrels lay? I'm
I've
calling the
never seen a
episode
squirrel
that.
burp. Burp?
Birth.
You've never-
Birth.
Oh wow! This
I've not
I
seen a
lost.
squirrel
I lost the
yesterday.
reins of this
Cool.
discussion very fucking quickly.
The squirrels have quite a few kids at once, though. Don't
I don't know,
That's
man.
4 or 5.
I don't know the ins and outs of squirrel birth.
Would you like to be a boy squirrel or a girl squirrel?
A boy squirrel.
Boy squirrel.
Top shaggers.
Top chat. All right. Well, okay. Just quick mark here. My brain is already a little bit fried. All right. I know that you guys perhaps don't have that same vision of I want to do art because art is expression and a part of me and something I'm really passionate about. But particularly on the current projects that you're creating, what's driven you to do so? I know that on your end, it's just a really complex, passive-aggressive way of having a go at all of the frustrations that you feel with all of the people at college. So how did you pull off that masterstroke of this is everything negative that I want to say about you, but without actually saying it to you?
You're very sarcastic.
I guess.
Very sarcastic.
Yeah. I don't know. I just did it.
It's just a gift.
It
Yeah,
was
it
it
is.
was maybe the best middle finger that anybody's ever given anyone because you didn't actually really raise a finger doing it. You got the people to say what you wanted to say about them
Yeah.
themselves. So round of applause, Georgia. All right, don't be obnoxious. And what about you, Connor? I mean, I feel like you might have roped yourself into doing this, but what in an ideal world would
Have
you
you
have wanted to
started
do?
yours?
Start my what?
Your project.
Yeah. Taking pictures. Anyway. What was that? Sorry.
So I know that you're doing photography, but there's a passion there that perhaps.
I picked media more because I thought it'd be more media like writing, journalism, kind of thing. But obviously, when I got here, it was more film based. And then when I was assessing what I wanted to do at uni, photography was something that can't describe it. It was just something that stood out.
So what about journalism do you particularly? What do you see yourself? How do you fit into that? Is it so much the pursuit of truth, or is it the descent of information to the masses, or do you just like talking?
No, it's more like I like being able to research different topic, like researching topics and going in depth into certain things.
So it's the finding the truth.
Yeah, finding the truth.
All right. Well, what about you, Georgia? What drove you to media? Lack of options?
I didn't want to do A-levels. Hey, I heard that. That's not funny because I actually did really well on my GCSEs. But I didn't want to do A-levels, so I thought I'd do media, but then I didn't really like that either, so...
So both of your lives have been pretty heavily shaped by sport, but in such different ways. Sorry? Has it? Well, I mean, your dad's
Yours
a
Oh, shit, yeah, I
former
forgot about
sportsman. We can talk about that.
I forgot about it.
We just don't name drop him.
What you forgot? My dad was. What sport did your dad play?
Rugby.
Is
He's a rugby lad.
Rugby lad.
Was he proper?
Yeah, he played for England, lad.
Did he
Really? What's that like, growing up under the shadow of that success?
Well, actually, guys, there's a paparazzi photo of me on the internet. Yeah,
No.
pretty cool.
Famous.
I don't really remember most of it. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
How
Yeah.
old was you when he retired?
I don't know. He retired ages ago. Well, not ages ago. He was 39, and now he's 45.
Do you ever-
That's not too long ago.
No.
Do you ever feel that weight of expectation to perform on the national stage like that, or?
Well, I got asked by his friends if I was going to get into rugby,
Wow.
and I said, no,
Why not?
sod off. Well, I did tag rugby in year 6.
Oh,
I used to love
I love
tag
tag
that
rugby
was fun.
too.
That was fun.
Mm.
Yeah.
But that's about as far as it got.
So, are you proud of his career, or is it something that's kind of a non plus? I don't give a shit.
I don't really have any feelings towards it at all.
It's just.
You just hold no investment.
It
there.
is what it is.
Some people's dads are engineers. Your dad was a rugby player.
Yeah, and what about it?
Hmm?
What
Wow.
about it, mate?
Interesting. Well, no, it's nothing to hold against you so much as it's just interesting that I couldn't turn around and say my parent was in the public space like that. They were open to criticism on that level,
Yeah,
or
but
that they did
like,
something.
Do you know if you was ever in the shop, did he have people coming up to him?
Well, on the school run, we'd have people come up to us sometimes.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when he used to walk me to school in primary school, like, oh, you George. I'm the real star here, guys. Move back. But that was it. Yeah.
But what about the travel? Because I imagine that would have been a component of it.
Yeah, I've been to my fair few countries, haven't I? But
Very
Where-
lucky.
Where's the best place you went?
And so humble with it,
Um,
Georgia.
I can't remember. I've been to.
A lot of places.
Yeah.
But more specifically, what's it like having a parent that travels a lot?
It's okay.
You don't feel that there's an extra level of work there?
No. I didn't see. Sorry. I didn't see him that. He wasn't around that much when I was younger, but.
Neither was my dad. He still ain't.
Nah. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Jesus. This took a turn.
That's it. My mum cooked a lot of dinners.
Mm.
She's not very
Is it
good at
just
cooking.
normal for you?
Are you,
Yeah.
would you say that you're closer or to him now, or that
Yeah.
it's not really a roadblock in that relationship?
No, I am closer to him now.
Fair enough.
We're best friends.
Oh, that's sweet. And Connor, I think fandom is definitely a word that I would, because you're on the other end of that dynamic. You know, you're
Yeah.
such a passionate follower of sports.
So
Very
passionate.
much so. Very much so.
But what does it play in your life? What role does it hold for you?
Is it everything really?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, because it's so normal, but my whole life has been,
Mm.
you know, Liverpool,
Liverpool.
everything else,
Mm.
kind of thing. So it's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
But also you've been at the forefront of that as well, because I hope you don't mind me bringing up, but a certain someone sat at the table here, Georgia, was going to be the next big thing
I was.
until he definitely wasn't, and
Were
then
you?
got cut from the academy. Talk about that.
Why'd you get cut?
What, when I was at Aston Villa?
Yeah.
Did you do
It was-
naughty things?
It was an experience. Like, it's like not many people got to go through the experiences that I did. So it's definitely something to be proud of.
Expand on that rat race. What's it like having to get ahead, feeling that pressure of if I don't perform, my future's not guaranteed?
It's a lot, especially when you're young.
Is there a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure?
At first, yeah, but I think like they put so much pressure on you at a young age, and your mind's not really
Able to handle it?
Yeah, so it's difficult. I see why you have a lot of footballers that go on like when they've retired have issues because ever since they've been young, everything's been so.
You are the star.
Yeah.
I didn't know you played. I thought you just bum-licked football. I didn't know you actually played.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's interesting because
Athletic heritage.
it's kind of almost that little emperor syndrome of you're put on a pedestal from such an early age. How did you adjust when, because you were pretty tragically injured? What was the transition process like? How do you adjust or readjust?
No.
Basically, I was like I said, I first got into football when I was young, and I loved like training. I liked it because it was fun. So as I progressed and went to Aston Villa Academy, it became more serious. So I was starting to lose interest in it. Obviously, I still love football, but playing it was more like, this isn't fun for me anymore.
It's work.
Yeah, it was more work, and obviously that I never got into it for that. And obviously I had other things coming up, like my exams at school and whatnot. So when I hurt my foot, and it was kind of like, I remember I sat down with my mum. My mum was like, I know you're not enjoying this anymore. So it wasn't as of a big deal. It was more like, oh, okay.
So it wasn't per se that your life was ripped away from you. You just discovered that this isn't something that I want to do anymore.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was coming to an end anyway. So it kind of came in hand really, like gave me an excuse to back out.
How do you then readjust back to normal life? Because there's almost not a loss of purpose so much as a sense of infinite directions, and that can be really overwhelming.
Yeah, I it was weird because a lot of I gained a lot of free time. Like in the weeks, it would be training 3 times a week and things like that. So a lot of free times, like I was able to do things that a typical teenager was able to do. So looking back, it probably benefited me more than anything.
I think it's so interesting that you take that angle, because I think we live in a society that's very success orientated.
Yeah.
But actually, and you look at Michael Jordan, for example, that's a guy who committed an inordinate amount to have that success. And I think it's interesting that you say, well, actually, no, there is something to be gained outside of that, and just living life and going through the motions that you do miss from that dedication. So I think thank you for opening up about that.
That was inspirational.
Don't be patronising or condescending. And thank you very much for...
That was serious. That was my serious...
This is a serious pod, man. We don't fuck around here, all right?
That was my serious reaction to its story.
Oh.
That was really inspirational, and it's made me want to get up and move.
Just mean.
What? How do I feel?
Good.
I wasn't trying to be inspirational. I just.
Well, it really was. It hit
just
home.
the situation.
I think it's interesting that you've managed to readjust that seamlessly, though, because for a lot of people, like in the NFL, for example, not for long. That's the analogy that they use. It's a portion of your life, and then you're just thrown out into the dust, but you don't have that experience.
No.
And I think on the other end, you're kind of experiencing what I imagine your dad is now having.
My dad.
On the other side of that, which is rediscovering life outside of being an athlete.
Yeah. What does your dad do now?
Well, after he retired, he went into coaching. Coached rugby.
Coach.
Now he has a really awesome job.
Is he from the north, or is that what you associate rugby with?
But no, he coached, and now he has a really awesome job where he has to go and do speeches and stuff, and he drinks, he gets drunk, he eats buffets, and he makes speeches and talks to people.
Sounds like the life.
And he gets to go all kinds of places. So that's
so
pretty
he's
cool.
still travelling now?
Yeah, he went to Hong Kong last year.
Oh man, that's really cool.
Did you go with him?
No, he didn't let me.
Oh.
I did ask.
I've been to China. I kind of wonder if you would
Oh my
make it
God,
there or not. So I was taking pictures of the Great Wall of China. I was taking pictures of, it's called the Bund, which is this massive... It does sound like the Bunda. I honestly, the whole time I was there, I was really struggling not to say it.
He wants to go Bunda.
Yeah. Well, I was with a bunch of really posh, fancy people who didn't really know what Bunda meant.
Was the bund big?
The Bund was enormous.
Look at the size of that bund.
Was it a fat bund?
Can I explain what it is?
Was it a fat juicy bund?
So,
Yeah, I want to know what this is.
so it's
Is
so
it
you-
round? Sorry.
pretty curvy.
Each-
No, it's a river. So you go down the river,
Oh, what?
and on either side of the river are just the most extravagant light show that's superimposed on these enormous skyscrapers. So imagine the New York skyline, but with really creative neon lights. This is just not interesting to me. Fuck was that? It was like a tapestry of a million different lights of every color weaving on these huge architectural masterpieces on every direction, and you just sat there and it's like looking at stationary fireworks.
Where was this?
This is in Shanghai.
In Shanghai.
And you just float down the river and it's like a million lights on either side of you, and it's just a sensory overload. You just sat there and you're like, oh my fucking god. You try and look at one building at one time and you just can't, because something immediately captures your eye and you go from building to building and building, and it's like stars in your eyes.
I get like that when I look at buns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of love looking at buns, get
Look-
stars in
look-
his eyes. Naughty boy.
So kind of moving away from Bunda.
No, we weren't talking about Monday, Hamish. Naughty.
What is
Connor's favourite asset on a girl.
no. What,
Personality.
Whatever, Trevor.
oh yeah, bullshit. Where do you look first at a girl? Her eyes.
Her
Mark.
massive back.
Can we
You don't call the marks. I call the marks. I'm in charge. I was gonna say, what's something? Happiness is something that I brought up with a lot of the guests, but I think that you two might have an interesting perspective on this. Not because I think you're interesting people. You fucking suck. But I mean.
What the hell?
If I remember rightly, we're doing you the favour.
Yeah, butt down, Hamish.
No, but when are you at your most happy? Sorry, when are you at your happiest?
You can go first.
That's nice of you to delegate on my show. On my show.
It depends, really. In just in general, in my
Yeah,
life.
whatever.
It changes all the time. Probably when I'm sleeping.
Oh,
Nah.
for fuck's sake.
No,
What a sad existence that is. I'm happy when I'm unconscious.
Nah.
True. Depends if I'm around people I like, things like that. Really, I'm easily satisfied. We know this. What about you, Jojo?
I like being drunk.
Hi, my name's Georgia and I'm an alcoholic.
I like. When am I at my happiest? I don't know. I'm never happy.
Oh, what a sad, miserable life you lead.
What a sad little life, Jane.
Can you
I don't know. I can't
Can you
think.
tell the listeners when you said that to your sister?
Sorry? I didn't know you had a sister.
I do have a
She
sister.
has an older sister.
She's an absolute gay boy.
But that's not a homophobic remark. Georgia means
No,
that.
she is actually gay, so that's funny.
Okay.
George's sister. She goes to university, doesn't she? She's was ill.
Oh God, no.
George
What?
decided when she was in hospital.
Oh my God.
No, she wasn't ill. She had a hip replacement.
Oh, that's still fucking bad, man. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Georgia.
Could she walk?
She couldn't at the time.
She
but
was
now
complaining
Oh,
about a
good.
condition. And Georgia replied, "You live a sad little life."
She
Jane."
can.
Jesus.
It's all laughter. It's all laughter.
I will never forget that. I was laughing uncontrollably.
Do you find solace in humour then? Do you deflect? Do you use it as a defence mechanism?
I guess so.
It's just a natural personality. I can't imagine having a serious conversation with you.
I
But
don't
is
have a very
sincerity
often.
something that you're actually afraid of?
Ew. I don't know. I'm absolutely fearless. I am. Oh, I don't like bees. I'm really scared of bees.
Is there any questions you'd like to ask me? No, I don't fucking care. Who are you? God fucking, what are you, my dad? Leave me
I have a
alone.
question.
Yeah?
What does Hamish mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a Gaelic name, and it roughly translates to Seamus.
Do you mean Gaelic?
No, I mean Gaelic. So Gaelic is the Hebridean Scottish language, yeah? So if you say you live on the Isle of Lewis or Orkney... Sorry?
The Isle of Wight?
No, that's in the south, my man. That's
Oh.
like way, way opposite end of the UK. You speak Gaelic. Hamish translates to Seamus. Seamus is a roughly translation of James. So roughly James.
So basically your name's James.
Alright, well don't be like that.
James.
James.
No, roughly my name's Seamus.
But then roughly name's James.
Well, what does your name mean, Georgia?
It actually means son of a
Truth,
farmer.
love, compassion,
No,
spirit.
It means son of a farmer.
In what?
Farmer.
In like Greek or something, I don't know.
That's not to stereotype that if you are from
Something to do with farming and the
a
soil.
Wiltshire accent, you are per se a farmer. Sorry. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, something to do with the soil, farming, and
Do you think that you're the salt of the earth?
the salt of the earth.
Yeah, it's an expression for really
Uh,
humble and kind people.
Yes!
Yes.
I think I am a humble and kind person.
Good.
I'd like to disagree.
Well, I don't disagree.
Connor,
with
are there any
myself.
questions that you would like to ask me?
Um,
That's a weird one that you chose. What does your name mean?
Actually, what is this podcast called?
The Story Exchange.
Oh, okay.
No, but why my name? That's curious. Let's dig into that.
I never met someone called Hamish before.
Me neither. Do you know when you first? When was it? In the
September
first year-
2019.
19.
Wow, we've been here for such a
I
long
remember
time,
when
guys. Oh my
you
God,
joined.
tearing-
When I heard your name was Hamish, I was like, oh.
How quirky and unique.
Stupid
Oh.
boy.
Just built different, I guess.
I was expecting you to have a Scottish accent.
Really?
And it was
Oh,
disappointing when I found out you didn't.
really?
Yeah.
Do you judge people on their accents? And not for the fibre of their being?
No, actually,
That's
I
quite
love,
superficial of you, Georgia.
I love an accent.
What?
So
And
you
the
do,
fact-
you do
and
judge
the fact
people.
that you didn't have one was upsetting.
What accent?
What?
Can
I
you
mean,
do?
I can do
So
an
many.
accent. Yeah, perform for us.
An accent, please.
Okay, I'll do Scottish. I'm from Scotland. I sound Scottish, but I'm from Edinburgh.
My Scottish family will be listening to this, and I imagine writhing in agony at just
I-
how much you butchered
I like
that.
bagpipes and I like butter on my pancakes.
Butter.
I like butter
Butter.
on my pancakes. And I'm from Scotland.
I think that's maybe enough of that. Wow, I kind of thought that you guys would have
You
more
do Irish
questions.
accents.
Yes, I think I can do Irish. I'm from Ireland.
Let's not
And I
turn
love-
this into the
I
Georgia
love
stand-up
doing
hour.
Clovers.
Georgia's Got Talent.
What can I say? What can I say, guys? What can you do, Annie? Oh, you can do a good scouse. Let Connor
can
do a
a good
scouse.
accent.
Okay, yeah, if we're gonna make the podcast.
Nah.
Fucking hell.
What do you want me to say?
I like chicken and I fucking hate Hamish.
All right.
Stephen Gerrard.
Stephen Gerrard.
That's
Okay.
bad. Sadio Mane. He's the best player in the world.
Say Diet Coke and chips. Or chicken. No, Diet Coke and chicken.
Chicken in a can of Coke.
That's it, can of Coke. Chicken and a can of Coke.
All right, we've got 40 minutes. We can wrap this.
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Bloody Laura.
That's gone well fast.
Yeah, that went really fast.
Okay, let's plug the work. So, Georgia, you are making a really passive-aggressive, quite horrible dramatization of all the people that you don't like at
A
college.
mockumentary.
What's it called again?
It's a mockumentary and we haven't actually decided on the name, but I think it's called The Meltoners. Something like that.
Try harder.
Shut up, Hamish. I will storm out now. I will storm out.
And Connor, what are you doing for your final project?
I'm-
All the links will be below. Please support them because they've worked so hard on them and are really funny in some cases and really moving in others.
I'm doing.
Couldn't agree more.
You are. I'm doing a photo album that details the changes in the world because of the pandemic.
Inspiring.
Which is very noble.
Very-
Where can we find these?
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Naughty.
Any last comments before we go? Before we wrap up? Thanks for coming on, guys. You've been
Yeah.
wonderful. A little bit hard to control, maybe, but great.
Thanks for having us. Jam with Ham.
Jam with Ham.
Called the
That
Story
was- that was
Exchange
the
now.
name of
Story
what it was
Exchange
gonna
now.
be.
It was going to be called Jam with Ham or Pain with Haim. Yeah.
Pain with Tame.
Pain with Haim.
Pain with that'd be a good one.
Yeah?
Jam with Ham.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds
You
like
came
a
up with that,
sandwich,
didn't you?
though. Jam with Ham.
I swear you came up with Jam with Ham.
No, you said, what about jam with ham? And I said, I like jam
Oh,
with ham.
Ham
Well,
was
maybe.
Hamish. That makes
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
I was wondering like Ham.
But I was going to
Or
have
you
like...
could call it lamish with Hamish.
Because you still a name.
Yeah.
That was really,
Exactly
that was
that,
really
actually.
clever. That was really clever. That's why you're such a creative, Georgia.
I know.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I thought you'd have
Hamish.
more like lasting comments. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
guys, remember, don't get in cars with strangers. Don't take powders off strangers. And
You'd know a lot
don't-
about powders off strangers, wouldn't you?
And don't
George is
slam
a
your
nitty.
fingers in the door.
That's the joke here. George is a nitbag. Only kidding.
No,
I'm kidding,
I'm not.
I'm kidding.
This
Just
is
kidding.
not true. This is false information that needs to be. And don't believe fake news. Thanks. That's all. That's my last words.
Oh God, I can't believe you dropped a Trump line.
Georgia has a very fit friend, but her piercing ruins it.
What?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my lasting comment.
Georgia has a very.
Well, no, she hasn't got that piss anymore.